All right, this is the retirement plan I am shooting for. All right, this is this is gonna rock your world, man. Rock your world like a hurricane. I was talking to these folks yesterday from Tejas, just good folks, and man, I want to mimic them without question. All right, they got a couple kids out of the house. Kids are squared away. The house is it's just freaking awesome, man. It's perfect in my opinion. All right, so let's dive into this. All right, so here we got Josh and Charlotte sample. All right, so now I am 61 years old, so I'm 10 years ahead of me right now, as these people were. They're about 10 years, our seniors are being Charlotte and me. And so we're going to pretend I am 60. I'm 10 years from now. Hopefully I'm still doing YouTube. Hopefully you're still watching. If I don't offend you with my right-wing rants. Oh, no, Josh, I didn't know you're a righty-winger. You've been following this stuff with the NSA? I tell you, man, it's there's a book, the Promise of Joy by Alan Drury, and they have this commie sympathizer who writes for it's a fiction novel, but from the late '60s, they have a commie sympathizer similar to like a Walter Duranty from the early '30s, late '20s from the New York Times. And then, long story short, when the commies do take over, this guy says, I should have listened. I should have listened, kind of like Randy Marsh when it has the global warming comes. He said, we should have listened. I should have listened, man. I should have listened to what the deep state was. And I thought the deep state represented by CIA and the FBI was righteous back when our guys were in charge under George W. Bush. And then I realized it's not. It's literally a deep state. It's way deeper than Obama, way deeper than Biden, way deeper than Trump, and it's not good, man. It's not good. It's no accountability. And if you think it's because you're going to vote for a right winger or a left winger to solve the deep state, I tell you, man, you're wrong. You're wrong. The deep state is omnipresent, if you will. At some point, you got to say you almost have to vote for a far left guy out of nowhere just to ratchet these people, get these people under wraps. But then you're going to go to socialism, and you can't have that. So it is what it is. All right. So as long as we're still not in the grasp of the deep state and just doing small time YouTube channels, I imagine we'll be left alone. But who knows? All right. So in this case, they sold it. They had some. That's right. They sold some property that he had for $500,000. They just bought a boat, all right? They just bought a boat, and they got so basically this guy, he'd been scoring away money. He had some stock options. That's what it was. He had stock options. He had some stock options. He has sold. He doesn't invest in the market. He saw what happened in 2001 and 2. Then again in 2008, he said, I'm never investing in it again. Rightly or wrongly, it matters not. Is his retirement planning solid? 100%. All right. So he sold all these stock options from a big firm. So he's been having $500,000 just sitting in cash. Perfect. He's got $1 million, and he's got it in his stable value fund. You could say a G fund at the TSP. I'm using Vanguard Ginnie Mae. All right, so he's got $1 million, this guy. All right, they got a house that's worth $370,000. They live in Texas, not Georgia. It doesn't matter. All right, so this is what we're looking at from a dashboard perspective. No debt. Almost $2 million of assets, of which $370 is their home, so $1.5 million in liquid assets, of which $500,000 is in cash. And if we look at the investment breakdown, now this does not include that cash. This is just their investable assets. You can see it's 100% bonds, which is I'm only giving you a 2.4% rate of return with a 4.8% standard deviation. So basically, your standard deviation on a Monte Carlo analysis with 3 standard deviations. Let me just explain. So that means 99.8% of the time with this rate of return, 2.4, you'll get, let's see, 2.4, about 17, roughly 17 and a half on the positive or 12 and a half on the negative. Hope that makes sense. So 99.8% of the time, you'll get a negative 12 and a positive 17, roughly, give or take. All right, so that means there is some downside risk, certainly more so than the Ginnie Mae has ever experienced. But be it as it may, we're using a little bit of downside risk, and that's on any given year, any given calendar year. So not much risk, more so than actual with Ginnie Mae, but we'll just go into this. All right, but we're only giving you 2.4% rate of return. Now, I'm just using this to show you the allocation of a moderate portfolio, 60-40. Let's just do we'll do a 35-65. We're only giving you basically a 4% rate of return there with a roughly 7% standard deviation. So if we use this as a target, 7% standard deviation, you times that by 3, that's 21%, plus 4, that's 25% on the high end, 21% minus 4, that'll be 17% on the down. So we got, what we got, 21 and 17, no, 21, whatever it was, 15 and 20, something like that. It's 4, 21, 25 on the up and 20 and 17 on the down. That's what it would be. So if we go to a conservative like a Wellesley fund, 25% on the up, 17 on the down on any given year, 99.8% of the time, unless we have some kind of black swan, which we certainly could. All right. Now the drawback here is his tax allocation. It's all in deferred accounts other than his cash. Now that's the important thing. All right. So now we're sitting there thinking, oh my goodness. Now remember, this is just for your investments. Does not include cash. All right. So I hope that makes sense. So now we're going to go to profile. And that's our profile. So we're going to be living until we're 90 years old. All right, so you can see planning horizon 90. All right, so Charlotte is 57, I'm 61. We're going to go to savings. We're not saving because we've already retired. Or we both retired in January of 2020. So frankly, it won't matter. All right, so because we're already retired. All right, so our income needs here. So what I've done here is I've created our income, Social Security. Charlotte will get $1,500 at her full retirement age of 67. I'll get $3,000 at my full retirement age of 67. But I'm going to wait till I'm 70 to take it because I'm 4 years older than Charlotte and I'm a man, so I'm certainly going to die before she does. So I want to leave her the biggest benefit I can. But notice between us, 1,500 plus 3,000, that's 54,000 a year of mis amigos, right? Mis amigos, Spanish speakers. So that's $5,500 a month, dudes. $4,500 a month, dudes. 54,000 a year when I'm 70 years old. So in 9 years between Charlotte and me, we're gonna make 54,000 a year in Social Security. All right. So the question is, will that cover what we need? So we're gonna go to goals, and you see I got go-go years. I'm spending $5,500 a month in go-go years, but that does not include health care. See your Fitty dropped the ball. I'm spending $500 a month in health care. All right. Can you hear that? He dropped the ball. He's got a little cross ball. He's bouncing like a basketball. I love these dogs. Now, the interesting thing is I think I'm overestimating expenses because let me tell you what this guy's doing, man, which is, he and his lady, it's just freaking awesome people. He drives she drives a 2014, I can't remember, Toyota, something like that. And he drives a 2015 Lexus, which he bought used or something like that. But anyway, they're going to drive these cars forever. And it's funny because when I went to Maine, my man, I don't want to say his name, but he had this fancy schmancy good time rock and roll Lexus. I was like, damn, dude, you don't, because this guy took me sailing. I'm thinking, damn, you don't watch my videos because you're driving this fancy schmancy good time rock and roll Lexus. It was freaking pimped out. It had everything. It was fantastic. And I was like, I say, hey, what year is this car? He says a 2009. And I could, or something like that. I said, what? It was fancy schmancy, dudes. Leather, all the stuff. I said, what? He paid $9,000 for it. He got off some guy in Arkansas or something like that. Like on Craigslist, something like that. I said, you got to be kidding me. He goes, no, and it's still under warranty. So something happened where I had to update the electric system or something. I can't remember what it was. And he said, it was all free. I was like, it was a smoking vehicle. If you would have saw this car, you're thinking this guy's living large as possible. And he is. But he wasn't living large as possible from a bank account. He's living large as possible because he negotiated the hell out of that car. It was fantastic. I was like, damn, I couldn't believe it. Anyway. All right, so we want to live on $5,500 a month plus health insurance. All right, so plus health insurance, $5,500 a month. I think we got, if we go to net worth, let's go to our home. They live in Texas. Yeah, so we got property tax, a little bit more expensive than that. We'll say $5,000 a year. Yeah, there we go. Good. All right. Good. There we go. So we're just going to say one of their income need or expenses is property tax. Now, our goals are $5,500 a month, and our party is 1999, 10 years. So we're going to live off $5,500 a month until 2030. So for the next 10 years, this is our living large retirement years. All right. Now after that, when I'm 70 years old, yeah, and Charlotte's 67, we'll probably wind down a little bit. So we'll just go down to 5,500 or 4,500 bucks a month. Now that does not include healthcare. Healthcare is its own expenditure. Healthcare is its own expenditure. I think I'm overestimating healthcare because I'm telling you, I know people who got a couple $1 million and they're paying only $50 a month in Obamacare. Tip of the hat, Obama. The issue is that, man, like this guy I was talking to yesterday, he's like, we just need a bronze plan. We just want catastrophic. I said, exactly. Once the kids are out of the house, man, and they're healthy, they're tan, healthy, they got pool, everything they possibly ask for. But what about long-term care? These guys actually have long-term care coverage, as I do, but I'm going to drop it. But my long-term care is my house. All right. And we have no pension. We just have Social Security. With me so far? I guess that's pretty much it. So let's go to retirement. Let's crunch some numbers, shall we? Oh, man, it's going to be fun. Oh, my goodness, Josh. Only an 89% probability of success. Wah. Oh, my goodness. Look at that. 89% probability of success. Look at that. Dude, I'm totally comfortable with that. And I'm leaving 131,000 downstream in today's dollars. So if we don't adjust for inflation, that's what, 400,000, something like that, 300,000. 252. So I always like to do in today's dollars so we can get a gauge of what we're actually leaving in today's dollars. So I'm leaving a home and I'm leaving 131,000 in median liquid assets in today's dollars. And what you'll see here is we're spending down until we hit Social Security, and then we're spending down less. That's a reverse hockey stick, if you will, the fake from Michael Mann. And so basically, the only time we have any risk of a success is when I'm long gone, as Charlotte's in her last year. 5% of the time she ran out of money. But she hasn't run out of money because she still has Social Security kicking in. All right, so check this out. The benefit of this. All right, so this orange is what we're taking from our portfolio. Right there. Notice it's purple. That's when Social Security kicks in. So you'll see we're drawing from our portfolio, and then Social Security kicks in. And you can see right here, Social Security. Now these orange things up here are RMDs. So Social Security in itself gives us the bulk of the income we need, if that makes sense. Now we're going to play around with some numbers here for a little bit, but you see what I'm saying? So we'll draw. Now let's go to confidence. Actually, let's go to stress test. Let's go to stress test. I haven't thought this. I want to see what this does if we have a 60% market decline, because given that we have a market crash of 50%, let's not have any market crash, because I want to see something here, because equity markets crashed by 50%. That shouldn't affect anything because we don't have any equities. All right, good. So we got a 88.9 equities crashed by, let's just go equities crashed by 100%. That shouldn't do anything because we're all in bonds. Let's just see if it picks that up. Okay, good. All right, sweet. There you go. So we don't have to worry about an equity market crash. That's fantastic. I did not know it did that. Now, if taxes go up by 80%, well, actually, let's not do 8%. Let's do 20%. 20%. If taxes go up by 20%, my probability of success drops from 89% down to 84%. I'll take that. If Social Security is reduced by 20%, we're doomed, and that's why it's not. I'm just telling you, man, it's not going to happen. If inflation goes up by 3.5% higher than what it is right now, which is 2% on cost of goods, and then 5.5% on healthcare, we're screwed. Okay, if that happens, we're all doomed. No other way around that. If healthcare goes up by 60%, well, that's just not realistic. Let's do 20% more. If healthcare goes up by 20% more than what we're at, which is a 5.5% increase right now, so that'd be 7% year over year. Then we only have a 50% probability of success. Look, man, you can do this until you're blue in the face to say, "Oh my goodness, I can't retire." I do what you gotta do. It bores me because I'm sitting there thinking you're probably not going to live that long. But be it as it may, hey, try to do a video there, big boy. Just that. Yeah, I got my eye on you. Oh, that big old knucklehead. Pablo stole his toy, so Finney's mad. All right, let me go home. All right, so here's the all-important cash flows. And here's our expenses total for the first year in retirement. 66, that's $5,500 a month of income I want, and then $12,500 of expenses. That includes 6,000 for healthcare, 6,500 for housing. So 12,500 for housing and healthcare, non-discretionary, plus my 5,500 bucks a month in income. So my total outflows are 78,500. Where's that money coming from? It's coming from my cash account. All right. So now we fast forward a little bit, and now my cash account is exhausted right here. And so let's go to accounts, all right, and withdrawals from accounts. So what you can see here is my well, let me show you ending balance first. I should have just done that. So we can see my savings account is being drawn down until 2027. It's gone. There's nothing left in there. And so what happens, I have to pull money from someplace. So in 2027, I need basically $100,000 of income. I'm pulling it from my IRA. All right, hope that makes sense. So now 2027 to 2030, I'm pulling money from my IRA because we're not on Social Security. Now what happens when I pull money from my IRA, of course, is that my taxes go up because I have to pull $100,000 from my IRA. I'm going to pay $11,000 in taxes. Now, I think they might have me paying taxes in Georgia. They do. There is no state tax in Georgia if your income is under $130,000 and you're married filing jointly and above the age of 65. So, we can save $1,100 there or something like that. So anyway, be that as it may. I need 74 plus that's roughly $90,000 to $95,000 of income. I'm going to pull $103,000 of that, in which to cover that $95,000 of income, which means I'm going to have to pay $9,000 in income taxes. I hope that makes sense. Now, what happens is if we fast forward till 70, and I'm starting to take Social Security here, Charlotte taking Social Security, and now what happens is I have income right here of $77,000. And that will be my $3,000 a month with delayed earnings credits, and Charlotte's $1,500 a month, and she'll get that as her PIA with the cost of living adjustments. And between us, we're getting $77,000 a year in 10 years. All right. Now, the expenses we need have been inflated, but notice they go from $78,000 to $65,000 because now we're saying we're getting into our 70s. Our go-go retirement years are kind of behind us. Now we're slowing down a little bit. We're still spending $4,500 a month on expenditures, plus another $25,000 a year on health insurance and housing. So it's not like health insurance doesn't go away. It's not like housing doesn't go away. So we're still spending $91,000 a year of income. All right, now we're getting that from Social Security and by withdrawing from our portfolio, which is all in Ginnie Mae. So there's literally no risk. And then if we do all that, we come back to analysis. We're like, dude, you're not running out of money. It's just, you're fine, man. I mean, and that's the easiest portfolio. So watch the tax perspective. It's just nuts. So if you look at our total tax payments, we're going to go up here. We pay $173,000 of total taxes. And we pay nothing because we're living off our cash. And on top, in the first, 6 years, on top of that, I think I'm overestimating the health care because I think we'll get cheap Obamacare because right now Obamacare is based on your income. So we got to cut, look at this, 3,500, 3,800. I mean, just no big deal, man. I mean, nuts. And look at all, so let's go to a tax. Let's go to 1040. It's nuts. And this is why I tell people all the time, man, just what we've been told to do with the retirement planning where we defer is just wrong. All right, so check this out. It's a 2034. We get $85,000 of Social Security, of which only $34,000 subject to taxation. So our total income is $33,000. We're pulling that from IRA. We're taking mandatory distributions, plus our $85,000. So 85 plus 35 is was that 120? Yeah, no, yeah, 120. That's $120,000 of income that we have to spend. That's $10,000 a month of income. But our taxable income, our AGI, is only $68,000 because $50,000 of our Social Security is not subject to taxation. We have standard deductions. We have personal exemptions. Our taxable income is only $35,000. So on $120,000, we're only paying $4,000 of taxes. Crazy. That's our taxes on $120,000 to the feds because we're not going to pay this to the state of Georgia. All right. So what I want to do, what I did with these guys, is freaking awesome. Awesome possum. So what I did with these guys, I said, look, man, let's have you all doing, and this guy's, he thought, I said, what if I do Roth conversions? I said, let's try it. So do Roth conversions, and let's just see what that does. $50,000 a year. And we're going to, okay, good, from IRA accounts. So we're going to do it uh, already started, and we're going to do it for, I think we did for 5 years until he came on. How long did we do Roth conversions? I think we just did for 5 years because we did 250,000. Yeah, so we're going to do for 5 years. Let's do calendar year 2022, and we're going to do for 5 years. That's what we did for 5 years, and we're going to do Roth conversions. All right, so let's check this. Let's see if that does anything. And we're going to hit retirement. So we're going to convert 250,000 from my $1 million portfolio. Look at that, dudes. It increases our probability from 89 to 93. We leave the same amount of money as a median net worth, but check this out. If we go to cash flows, we're going to leave it all tax-free, I think, if memory serves. So yeah, it's all, look at that. Well, not all tax-free, but this is with a linear 2.8% rate of return. But a Roth is going to be 506 going to my kiddos tax-free, 211 going to my kiddos taxable. I mean, look at that, man. And we'll come back and not do Roth conversions, but let's see what it looks like from the tax perspective. And that might be a little bit too much, but here we're doing Roth conversions. Let's just go to current, and that's the widow's tax trap right there. Not much there, but you know, we'll come back to that anyway. So we might not be doing enough in Roth conversions. All right, so right there, we're running. So what's happening here is we're running out of cash. That's what it was. Let me show you what I'm talking about. We're running out of our cash portfolio, and thus we're having to live off our IRA and simultaneously doing Roth conversions. Yeah, we don't want that. So what's happening here is we're going to have, oh, let me show you, I'll show you what I'm talking about. And we're going to go to tax, and that's going to be 20. Let's just show you 2022. We have Roth conversions of 50,000. All right, Roth conversions of 50,000, and we're living on our cash. All right, so our tax is only $2,700. So we're paying $2,700 for the privilege of doing 50,000 Roth conversions. That's a slam dunk. Now we fast forward to 2025, 2026. Now let's go to 2020. That's about right. 2020. Let's do 2027. Yeah. So here we go. Here we're pulling $105,000 out of our portfolio. I don't think we're doing Roth conversions in 2027. Let's take a look. I bet we're not. We should be done with that. But the reason our taxes went up is because we have to live. We need money to live on. And we're going to go to accounts, and we're going to go to net cash flows. Yeah, so we stopped doing Roth conversions, but here we're just living off our IRA at that point. That's interesting. All right, so that works like a charm though, because look, we don't want to. Is what I was doing with these other people. I was doing Roth conversions simultaneously while they're living on their IRA, and that didn't make sense. And the reason that didn't make sense is because it put them in a way high. Basically, they're double dipping. They're taking money out of their IRA to pay taxes on, in which to live on, and they're taking money out of their IRA to pay taxes on to do Roth conversions. Don't do that. That doesn't make sense. But in this case, still look at that, man. $250,000 is being moved from my traditional IRA into my Roth, and what that means is if we go to cash flows. Let me show you what I'm talking about here. Our tax payment goes way down. Remember, it's like 4 or 5. Look at this, man. And we're paying, and when I die, Charlotte's left with all that. I'm not exactly sure why it jumps up. It doesn't matter. For right now, it doesn't matter. But anyway, so I'm wondering, so our tax payment is $2,700. Huh. I wonder if we even do more Roth conversions. What will that do? Let's go to income. Let's do $75,000. We don't want to do $75,000. That's what it was. We got to stay within the Obamacare. That's right. That's what it was. We can try $60,000. That makes me a little bit nervous because we start getting up there with the Obamacare stuff. That's what it was. That's why we didn't go above the 75. Yeah, I would. That's not going to do much. I do the 50,000. It's a nice round number. It still keeps you pretty significantly below the threshold for Obamacare. Premium credits. All right, there. Let's do that. All right, yeah. So that's what it was. So $50,000. Now the question is, when we go to taxes, once we're on Social Security, should we do Roth conversions at that point? Yeah, I don't think so. I mean, just check this out, man. If we go to retirement, I love those dogs. If we go to retirement cash flows, and we're gonna see, what do we pay? Like 171 in tax before. Now we're paying 110. All right, so these are the years. One question we need to answer: would it be better to take Social Security early? I don't think so because I just want to. We'll run it. I just want to make sure that Charlotte is in a good place at my death, if that makes sense. And again, the more my Social Security benefit is, the more she gets when I die. Now the question: maybe Charlotte should take it early and reduce. I don't know. We'll see. All right, we'll come back to that. But look at this. I mean, the taxes right here are just nothing. $1,500. There's just don't. I mean, there's no reason to do more Roth conversions, in my opinion. All right. So now the question comes: should we do Social Security earlier? Let's go to. Remember, this is all with Ginnie Mae. I'm not making any money, by the way. I'm making 2.8%, which adjusted for inflation and taxes as a losing proposition. Then you adjust a 5.5% inflation on healthcare. It's more than a losing proposition. I'm getting smoked, and I'm still doing just fine. So Social Security, let's customize it, and let's have me taking it at full retirement age, and we'll have Charlotte. Yeah, there we go. And let's just do me at full retirement age and her at full retirement age. Let's see what that does. Oh man, yeah, no, that's no good. What's the difference? Okay, yeah, so we definitely don't want me doing a full retirement. Wow, look at that. That's weird. They start putting these. All right, cool. So that proposed plan. What is the current plan? I don't like it says current plan. But anyway, that proposed plan. If I take it at full retirement, let's just look at cash flows. If I were to take it at full retirement age, that's not going to do me right, man. Let's go to proposed plan. We all these different current plans. I don't get that. So proposed plan. Yeah, look at that. Take it at full retirement age. That's not good because I'm going to leave Charlotte less. All right, so let's go back. So don't take it, for me, don't take it at 67. I need to take it at 70. All right, so what if I took it at 70? Yeah, there you go, 70. And Charlotte took it at 62. All right, let's take that. A lot of times that's not a bad strategy. Let's see here. I bet that's not going to work. Yeah, we don't want to do that. All right, so the issue is you don't want to do that while you're investing in the Ginnie Mae. Now, let's go back. Let's say I take it at 70, she takes it at 62, but let's invest in a Wellesley instead. What are we looking at there? 97%, and we're leaving more to the kids. You know, that'd be something to consider for sure. Is it going to make or break it? No. But what about inflation? Yeah, I mean, that might be something to consider. But don't forget, it's not like the Ginnie Mae wasn't paying 6.5% back in the late 90s, which is when I was introduced to Ginnie Mae, when inflation was significantly higher than it is now. So Ginnie Mae adjusts for inflation too. All right, so this is, hey, buddy, try to do a, and this is Charlotte taking at 62, me taking at 70. Yeah, I don't like that. Is that still with Roth conversions? I think it is. Let's see here. Go to accounts. Yeah. All right. So that doesn't make sense. So we don't want to do that, man. So basically the strategy is, because we're only getting 2.8% a year on our Ginnie Mae, is for me to take Social Security at 70, Charlotte to take it at her full retirement age at 67, if we're going to stay invested now in the Ginnie Mae. Now, if we're going to do Roth conversions, and we're going to do Wellesley, I mean, if we're going to do Wellesley, that changes everything. It gives us a 97% probability of success. That's all the same, if you ask me. But we have more money to play with later on, so that would make sense for sure. Is Roth conversions going to make or break it? Let's go to proposed plan with a Wellesley. So here's Wellesley. Because we have a little bit more aggressive of a portfolio, we're going to pay more tax, but we will have more money as well. Anyway, so that is that's the retirement plan I am shooting for right there. It doesn't make it right or wrong. It just means for sleep at night, this is my sleep at night retirement plan. I tell you, man, this is what I am shooting for. And if I could get here, look, we're not even doing a reverse mortgage. It's just, aim for this. All right, love to hear your thoughts. Put comments down below and the diddly do. Thanks now.